Good afternoon. My name is George Bolden. It's my pleasure to serve as president of KMEA and invite you to join us now for our Professional Development Conference Awards ceremony. I want to start out this afternoon by recognizing our outgoing elected KMEA board members. From District 3 President Patrick O'Rourke, Bowling Green High School, Bowling Green. From District 5 President Tony Wise, Oldham County Middle School, Buckner. From District 7 President April Kite, Edith J. Hayes Middle School, Lexington. From District 11, President Eric Sokolowski, Model Laboratory School in Richmond. President George Bolden, University of Kentucky, Lexington. Vice President Terry Thompson, retired, from Ashland. Middle School Band, Eric Allen, Western Middle School, Louisville. Chorus, Lisa Jury, Madison Central High School, Richmond. General Music, K through 5, Darrell Parks, retired, Bloomfield. Orchestra, Mary Elizabeth Hinton, Model Laboratory School, Richmond. KCC Coordinator, Julie Hartman, Allen County Scottsville Primary Center, Scottsville. Congratulations to these outstanding elected KMEA board members. Our outgoing appointed KMEA board members include Credentials and Elections Chair, Rebecca Fields, Drakes Creek Middle School, Bowling Green. Collegiate NAFME Advisor, James Dreiling, Berea College, Berea. Our Community Music Chair, John Johnson, Boyd County High School, Ashland. Our Marching Band Committee Chair, Tim Allen, Lindsey Wilson College, Columbia. Music for Special Learners Chair, April Yance, Burns Middle School, Owensboro. Technology Chair, Glenn Flanagan from Asbury University in Wilmore. Again, congratulations to these KMEA board members. And now we want to recognize our teachers of 25 years of service. And I introduce now David Graham, President-elect.
These music educators are celebrating 25 years of service. Randy Adams, Madisonville North Hawkins High School in Madisonville. Dan Brennan, Letcher County Public Schools in Whitesburg. Brett Burton, West Jessamine High School in Nicholasville. Wendy Doyle, Highland Middle School in Louisville. Kevin Durham, West Marion Elementary School in Loretto. Alan Emerson, James Madison Middle School and Madisonville North Hopkins High School in Madisonville. Tanya Fox, Williamstown Junior and Senior High School in Williamstown. Ed Hauser, Owensboro Catholic High School in Owensboro. Greg Hyman, Fairdale High School in Louisville. J. Sean Huff, Allen County Scottsville High School in Scottsville. Catherine Hurst, Warner Elementary School in Nicholasville. Barbara Leach, Phelps High School in Phelps. Dale Mayberry, Pineville High School in Pineville. Kyle Ray, North Oldham Middle School in Goshen. Tammy Reynolds, Rockcastle County High School in Mount Vernon. Scott Sexton, Pulaski County High School and Northern Middle School in Somerset. Frank Sloan, Holmes Middle School in Covington. Michelle Steiner, McNeil Elementary, T.C. Cherry Elementary, and Parker Bennett Curry Elementary Schools in Bowling Green. Troy Stovall, Muhlenberg County High School in Greenville. Stephanie Wallace, Western Hills High School in Frankfort. John Ward, Lincoln County High School in Stanford. And Lee Zerhusen, Collins Elementary School in Florence. These next educators are celebrating 30 years of service. Gabe Begley, Tates Creek Middle School in Lexington. Michelle Estes, Lee County High School in Beattyville. Sheila Lamb, Simmons Middle School and Fleming County High School in Flemingsburg. Sean Owens, Bryan Station Middle School in Lexington. Elizabeth Pike, Madison Middle School in Richmond. Carla Pleasant, Scapa at Bluegrass, Lexington. David Threlkeld, University of the Cumberlands in Williamsburg. And David Welch, Ramsey Middle School in Louisville. I'll now hand it over to our Vice President, Terry Thompson.
Celebrating 35 years of service with us this year. William Paris from Sandersville Elementary School in Lexington. Doug Smith, Glasgow Middle School in Glasgow. And June Williams, retired from Georgetown. With 40 years of service, Greg Detweiler from Morehead State University in Morehead. Lorna Pierce, retired from Louisville. And Mike Tracy, University of Louisville in Louisville. And now I'd like to announce the Jim and Carolyn Fern Scholarship winner from Murray State University, Christopher Trimble. And now, the KMEA Teachers of the Year. Here's David Graham.
Recipients at each level of this award category, elementary, middle school, high school, and college university, will receive checks for $500 donated to their school music programs in the honor of the award. We are thrilled to recognize our 2021 Elementary Teacher of the Year, Mary Beth Brown from Yaley Elementary in Florence. After serving at Dixie Elementary in Lexington and North Point Elementary in Hebron, Mary Beth Brown joined the staff at Yaley Elementary in Florence in 2017. Her principal, Mrs. Renee Turner, says Mrs. Brown has transformed our music program from a sit and get format to an interactive, multi-instrument, performance-based program. Ms. Brown sponsors our choir and takes them into our community to perform as an extracurricular club. The night before she came to Yaley, and she has grown the group to almost 20% of our school population. Her lessons are so fun to be a part of, and she has a way of explaining music to all students. Every student here will have the chance to experience percussion, string, and wind instruments, as well as singing in a fun way. Students are not intimidated to try new things, and every student has a chance to shine in her room. Mrs. Brown was nominated by her fellow Boone County elementary music teacher, Miss Holly Trenkamp, who teaches at Kelly Elementary. She writes, "One thing I admire most about Mary Beth is her ability to build lasting relationships with her students and school community, and focusing on their social, emotional learning through her instruction. When we went into quarantine this past spring, she turned to music to help her community at Yaley Elementary School. She began composing weekly songs for her students and staff. She appeared on Channel 1 Spectrum News performing Good Morning Yaley Bobcats. Boone County Schools also featured her song, Though We're Far Apart, in a public relations video for the district. Miss Brown composed 8 original songs in all. While separated, she made sure all her students stayed connected, both musically and emotionally, throughout the remainder of the unprecedented 2019-2020 school year. Yaley Elementary is lucky to have such a hardworking, caring, and musically gifted teacher. The impact on her students shines through in a story from Principal Turner's recommendation letter. Just today, as she was graciously helping me with bus duty so that we could socially distance our students, the last little one to get on the bus stopped, turned around, and said, "Thank you, Miss Brown. I love your music lessons." For her exemplary efforts, KMEA is pleased to recognize Mary Beth Brown as our 2021 Elementary Teacher of the Year. Now, President George Bolden will present our Middle School Teacher of the Year.
Thanks, David. Our 2021 Middle School Teacher of the Year is originally from the state of Florida and currently teaches orchestra and guitar at Jesse Clark Middle School in Lexington. Michelle Hudson is our recipient. One of her sponsors wrote, "Michelle is truly an amazing string educator and a perfect choice for this award. Every time I have had the pleasure of walking into her classroom, her energy inspires not only her students, but for me as well. Whether it's an engaging story to enforce a musical concept or a teaching trick to enforce a technique, she has tremendous versatility in every aspect of her teaching. That is evident through the students' enjoyment of their many creative rehearsals and activities." She goes on to write, "Not only does she inspire all of her students to continue working to be the best they can be, but she is also a source of invaluable guidance and encouragement. Michelle's connection with her students creates long-term relationships that are forged through day-to-day rehearsals. The program's continued growth shows the level of dedication her students hold. Another sponsor wrote, Michelle understands the importance of students becoming invested in the program so that they will continue their studies into high school and beyond. To help ensure students have the tools for success, Michelle offers help sessions outside of the school day for solo and ensemble, as well as assistance with honors orchestra music. While Michelle doesn't teach at the elementary level, she knows the importance of building community in her program, so she often assists those students and directors at performance events. She continues that assistance at the high school level as well, letting students know that she still supports them in their musical endeavors past middle school. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce Michelle Hudson from Jesse Clark Middle School as our 2021 Middle School Teacher of the Year. Now throw it over to Terry.
Thank you, George. The KMEA High School Teacher of the Year for 2021 is Aaron Bowling. Aaron has been the Director of Choral Activities at Boyd County High School in Ashland since 2014. Prior to that, he began his teaching career in 2007 at Catlettsburg Elementary School, also in Boyd County. There, he was the music teacher, the art teacher, he taught guitar, and all the while being the school technology director. We all know the demands of the school technology director. At Boyd County High School, he teaches AP Music Theory, appreciation of visual and performing arts, beginning guitar, advanced guitar, and directs all the choral activities in school. A full load, to be sure. Aaron is a 2001 graduate of Morehead State University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education. In 2005, he received his Master of Music in Vocal Performance from Morehead State. Since 2013, he's been the music director at Wildwood First Church of God in Ashland. In addition to his membership in KMEA and NAFMA, he is also a member of ACDA, a past member of the Acapella Education Association, as well as KEA and NEA. His students have performed on the highest level in multiple organizations, including the KMEA All-State Choir and the ACDA All-State Choir. His Boyd County High School Choir has, since 2014, received nothing but distinguished ratings at KMEA Choral Assessment. In addition, he's been the district choral chair, the all-district choir coordinator. He serves on the school-based decision-making committee and still finds time to be the public address announcer for the Boyd County High School lady basketball team and the high school cross-country teams. Aaron was nominated for the District 8 Teacher of the Year by Dr. Greg Detweiler, Director of Choral Activities at Morehead State University. In his nomination letter, Dr. Detweiler said the following: Aaron's conducting style clearly communicates what the music needs to come alive. He knows what he wants from his choirs and uses unique and resourceful ways to accomplish his goal. Aaron has strong leadership skills. He has built a choral program with strong outreach program to enrich the school and the community. Thomas Holbrook is the principal at Boyd County High School. He wrote a letter of support on Mr. Bowling's behalf. In part, he stated, he does an outstanding job in all aspects, such as building rapport with students and parents, being accountable to his peers, and building an elite choir program that has been recognized as distinguished. John Johnson, the director of band at Boyd County High School, in his letter of support stated, Aaron is a passionate musician, conductor, teacher, and choral director. His ensembles consistently receive high marks at both local and state level assessments. His students achieve at all levels, and he works tirelessly to provide them with the best experiences. More important, Aaron is an outstanding role model for young people. He puts forth his best effort towards every task, and he truly cares about his students. I believe you should hear part of what makes Mr. Bowling an effective teacher. In his own words, in his philosophy of music education, Mr. Bowling wrote this: my classroom is a safe place where healthy risks are encouraged. Growth involves a measure of calculated risk and is necessary to explore the successes and areas of improvement in a positive environment. I am responsible to create activities that allow and encourage students to find such areas to take risks. I want to inspire a generation of musicians to be producers, consumers, contributors, and advocates of music and the arts. It is vital to have teachers who inspire our future generations of musicians and positive members of society. Mr. Bowling is a master teacher as well as a role model, a mentor, and a leader of young people in the school, the community, and the state. It is with great pleasure that I present to you Aaron Bowling as the 2021 Kentucky Music Educators Association High School Teacher of the Year. And now, back to George.
Thanks, Terry. Professor Sidney King from the University of Louisville is our 2021 College University Teacher of the Year. Professor King has served on the U of L faculty since 2001 and holds the rank of Professor of Double Bass and Coordinator of String Education. One of his sponsors wrote, "I was a first-year teacher attending my first all-county orchestra audition night for JCPS, and Sidney was there with a group of music ed students offering their time and talents to help make the event run smoothly. Sidney went out of his way to introduce himself to me and extend an invitation for himself and his string education students to visit my classroom. Beyond his accomplishments as a professor, Sidney is also an incredible mentor for his students. He forms meaningful relationships with not only his students, but teachers all over Kentucky as well. He travels extensively from Paducah to Ashland, down to Somerset and up to Fort Thomas to assist teachers and coach bass players. He composes music and performs with student orchestras, including a performance of his original piece at the 2019 Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic. Sid's outreach into the school programs has had a positive impact on the string programs within our city. We've seen tremendous growth in our string programs, not only in enrollment, but the quality of the groups seem to get better every year. I have no doubt that the University of Louisville's partnership with our string programs is a contributing factor. Not only has Sid come out to visit our programs, but he regularly sends university students to our classrooms to assist. He does a great job of sending very prepared prospective student educators. They don't just come and observe, but instead come in and help students and even in some cases teach full lessons. I just had the pleasure of hosting a student teacher last spring, and the young educator was extremely prepared and a valuable addition to my classroom. She came to the situation completely prepared for teaching at a high level of competency. I have no doubt that this was a direct result of the preparation provided by Sid King to his student teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, our outstanding 2021 College University Teacher of the Year, Professor Sidney King from the University of Louisville. And now back to David.
Thank you, George. Matt Bertazzo grew up in Fort Thomas and attended Highlands High School, where he played trombone and served as drum major in the band. After several posts in education, including as band director in a school in Indiana, he returned to his alma mater in 2018 as principal. Today, we're proud to honor Mr. Bertazzo as the 2021 KMEA Administrator of the Year. Lori Duncan, the band director at Fort Thomas Highlands, nominated Mr. Bertazzo for this award. She writes, "In my 20 years of teaching, I have worked with several musicians, educators, and administrators across the state. Matt Bertazzo is simply one of the best. He is focused on the future of our young musicians in Fort Thomas. Our programs continue to thrive because of the support he lends to the music educators in the district." Kathy Anderson, the orchestra director at Fort Thomas Highlands, says, "I still remember the first question he asked me when he arrived at our school. What do you need and how can I help? What can I do to make sure the orchestra is the best it can be?" I was taken aback. I couldn't believe it. Well, just 2 months into his tenure, he had a chance to show us that he meant what he said. The band and orchestra had a trip to New York City and a workshop with the New York Philharmonic planned. We were very excited, but soon ran into problems with the logistics of getting some of the double basses and percussion equipment under the buses. We could not go to New York without them, and the buses were filled to capacity. We needed a solution. Spoke to several parents to see if they would help, but no one could get time off to travel with us. In addition, we needed someone to drive all night and get there before the bus arrived. Without a moment of hesitation, Matt volunteered to rent a U-Haul van and drove straight through the night directly into Midtown Manhattan traffic to make it all work. When asked if he had ever driven in Manhattan, he shrugged his shoulders and said, "How hard could it be?" Sure enough, he met us in New York with all the instruments. He practically unloaded and loaded the truck all by himself, then jumped on the podium and conducted a full orchestra version of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. It was incredible. The full symphony orchestra actually was created under Mr. Bertazzo's leadership. The symphony orchestra meets during the school day. Mr. Bertazzo made sure the orchestra and band classes were scheduled together to make that symphony orchestra a reality. He's also overseen the formation of an AP Honors Performing Arts course at Fort Thomas Highlands. For all these accomplishments and for his continued support of the arts, we're proud to recognize Mr. Matthew Bertazzo as the 2021 KMEA Administrator of the Year. Now back to George.
Thanks, David. The 2021 Friend of Music Award goes to the Sicilian Club of Richmond. The Sicilian Music Club was established in 1886. It's based in Richmond and has an active membership of 40 to 50 members. This group supports Foster Music Camp, Madison County Schools, Eastern Kentucky University, and many children and families interested in music. The Sicilian Club has a number of endowed investments that provide scholarship for middle school and high school students to attend Foster Music Camp each summer. One member's family collaborated with EKU and Foster Camp to provide separate scholarships, especially for middle school students. The group also funds a scholarship each year for a student at EKU in the School of Music. In addition to monetary support for music in the region, Sicilian Music Club also provides music for the community. The group has hosted a number of concerts and recitals, most often free admission for all. Members attend and support music events and school concerts and musicals as well. In the spring, the club hosts a musical to showcase the talent of Madison County students. Teachers nominate their best musicians and students are performed for this recital. Over their many years, they have raised thousands of dollars to provide music opportunities for students and schools in our region. Each year, they provide thousands of scholarships to students to pay their tuition to attend Foster Music Camp at EKU. Often, local music programs will make requests for equipment and or music-related supplies to the club, and these requests are always granted. They host several local piano competitions, recitals, and sponsor many other local music performances. Ladies and gentlemen, our 20th Friend of Music Award goes to the Sicilian Club of Richmond. And now back to Terry.
Thank you, George. Our final award today is the KMEA Citation for Service for 2021. The 2021 Kentucky Music Educators Association Citation for Service Award goes to George Bolden. Mr. Bolden is a professor of music and the associate director of band at the state's flagship university, the University of Kentucky. Additionally, he teaches conducting, wind pedagogy, music technology, and supervises student teachers. He was nominated for this award by John DeFerrero. Mr. DeFerrero teaches choral music in the Boone County school system. Mr. Bolden holds a Bachelor of Music Education degree from the University of Kentucky and a Master of Music Education degree from the University of South Carolina. While on a sabbatical leave during the 2005 and 06 school year, George served as a doctoral teaching assistant with the university bands at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and completed coursework for the Doctorate in Music Education, ABD. He's a product of the Kentucky public school system. It's a graduate of Harrison County High School, where he was a standout trombonist for the award-winning Harrison County High School Band. Bob Gregg, of course, was their director. Previously, he taught for 9 years in the public schools of South Carolina and Florida and was a recipient of the ASBDA Stanberry Award for the Outstanding Young Band Director in Florida and the Southeastern region of the United States. Quite an award. His record of service to KMEA is lengthy and all-encompassing, as is his service to the music education community. His accomplishments at the University of Kentucky are centered around the individual student. That makes him a go-to person in the music department at UK. In formal roles for KMEA, George Bolden had served as the editor of the Bluegrass Music News from 2010 to 2017, as the District 7 president from 2015 to 2017, and of course, in his current role as the president of KMEA. As a clinician or invited guest, George has been selected by KMEA to conduct the UK Symphony and concert bands in multiple concert appearances at conferences, as well as to present clinic sections open to all KMEA members. He's made over 170 site visits to school band programs across the Commonwealth and beyond since 2003. Mr. DeFerrero, in his letter of nomination to George, says the following: despite having a full teaching load, he regularly visits music programs across the state to provide advice and elevate the performance in and out of the classroom. He's helped to shape a generation of wonderful musicians, educators, and band students, and we are all better people for having worked with George. Lois Wiggins, a master teacher herself, says this about Professor Bolden: his involvement with the Bluegrass Music News, with Phi Beta Mu, Bandmasters Fraternity, KMEA, and instrumental music education brings new life to the profession in the form of clinics, conference sessions, workshops, and articles that will enrich the rehearsal techniques and knowledge base of all present and future band lecturers in the state. Brad Kearns is the professor of trombone at UK, and both a former student and now a colleague. In his letter of support for Mr. Bolden's nomination, he says, as a conductor, he has recently been on stage with ensembles such as the Fillmore Wind Band at the Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic, and as a clinician, can be seen every fall judging multiple events for both Drum Corps International and Bands of America organizations. And over the years, his students have gone on to win professional performing and teaching positions all over the world. Joe Craig is the director of band at Ryle High School and the KMEA band chair. George Bolden is a gift to KMEA, as well as the music teachers and the students of Kentucky. Chris Hedges, director of bands and orchestras at Connor High School. His guidance and mentorship played a major part in my development as a band director. That means that I have had the privilege of knowing and working with George for 26 years. The accolades go on and on. The bottom line here is that George Bolden is admired, appreciated, and emulated throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky and beyond as a guest conductor and adjudicator on the national level, and for his obvious love of the music education profession. Giving of his time to work with and teach whatever level of accomplishment an ensemble might be on seems unending. His willingness to give freely of his time for the students of Kentucky has translated into his willingness to serve KMEA in whatever role is asked of him, and makes him the obvious choice for this year's honor. It is my distinct pleasure to present the KMEA Citation for Service to George Bolden.
Thank you, Terry and David. This brings us to the end of our ceremony. Again, congratulations to all the folks we were able to recognize today. You are truly gifts to all of us in music education across the state of Kentucky. I hope you enjoy the rest of your clinic, and again, congratulations.